Hello everybody. Welcome to the adventures of the town electrician. Another beautiful day on the Mexican border, and we're all safe and secure here. Today's broadcast now, I wanted to tell a story about Detroit back in the 60s, early 70s, that time era. Down around Wayne State University, there was the Plum Street District. And what that was the Haight-Ashbury of Detroit back in that day and age. You know, the White Panther Party was there, all the lefties, the hippies, head shops, the anti-war movement. You get the idea. And they had published a radical newspaper down there called the Fifth Estate. So I was just a young man coming of age, and I just loved that newspaper. Anytime I could get my hands on it, I'd read it from front to back. And so J. Edgar Hoover, when he passed away, J. Edgar Hoover, of course, the former director of the FBI, who's probably responsible for denying more American citizens their Fourth Amendment rights than anybody in our history. He passed away. Of course, all us lefties, we hated him, So the Fifth Estate puts this headline, this provocative headline. The next day it reads, "Ding dong, the witch is dead." We all loved it. Everybody else hated it, And so now yesterday, when Justice Scalia passed away, that whole headline was like the first thing that popped into my mind. So I get out one of my beautiful photos of Texas, because he passed away down here. And in fact, if it wasn't for that mountain right over there being in the way, we could see the place where he passed away. So I post this picture of Texas with the caption, "Ding dong, the witch is dead. Scalia dies in Texas," with the intention of provoking people. I so much wanted to piss people off. And I realize that's the easy way, to make people mad. I usually don't go that route, but I just couldn't help it yesterday. So I post that on, and of course I got the response I was expecting. People calling me names, this and that. I don't care about that. But the majority of them are Trump supporters. So remember what Grandpa always told us? People don't like to taste their own medicine. I know my grandpa told me that, and I'm sure yours did as well. So here's the Trump supporters who cheered Trump when he calls the Mexicans rapists, who want to build a wall here because they hate Mexicans. Oh, the Mexicans, we got to build a wall, keep them out. They cheer Trump when he wants to ban all Muslims from entering the United States. And here's Trump out on his standard stump speeches. People are too politically correct, and people in America nowadays get offended too easily. That's the theme as well. And of course, who's offended by my posts are the Trump supporters. And isn't that ironic, fellas? And as far as you go, Justice Scalia, you can burn in hell, brother. You and right alongside of the pedophile priests from your so-called church. And we'll never forget in 2000, the election, when the people of the United States of America voted for Al Gore to be president. That's who the people wanted. And you, Justice Scalia, the champion of states' rights, you and all the righties, that's your battle cry, states' rights, states' rights. You overturn a decision by the state of Florida's Supreme Court. And all Florida wanted to do was recount the votes. It's standard procedure. It's too simple. You, Scalia, overturn that decision, install George Bush as the president. 3 weeks later, his vice president, Dick Cheney's in his office with all the oil boys, the Energy Task Force. All the big oil boys are in Washington, D.C., divvying up the resources of Iraq. It's public knowledge. We have the maps, as you all recall. Somebody post them on Facebook for me, or I'll post them. All those maps they were using, and then the text, though, all those meetings are redacted. It's all blacked out, but you can get it and you can see they just blacked it out. They wouldn't let us see what they were talking about. So they're divvying up the resources of Iraq. 9 months later, were attacked by Saudi Arabians and we end up going into a war in Iraq, millions have died. The Middle East is in flames to this day, including now Syria. All those Saddam boys ended up in Syria. It's just, and then you know the situation, all the refugees in Europe, because of what you set in motion, Justice Scalia. We won't forget that. And for you Trump supporters, if you want a taste of your own medicine, tune in here, because I'm going to give it to you. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me. From border to border. Adios.